It's the Big E Sports Extravaganza.
It's a tradition.
Your weekly destination for all things going on in the sports universe. We don't just talk X's and O's. We go beyond them. Bringing you some of the most engaging guests from around the nation. Fasten your seatbelts. It's showtime. Now, here's your hostess with the mostest, Elissa Walker Campbell.
Hey, welcome back to the Big E Sports Show. I'm your host, Elissa Walker Campbell. And as we get set for Super Bowl 60, we are joined by former Super Bowl player with the Patriots and longtime analyst, Craig James. And of course, Craig brings a rare perspective connecting the past, the present, and the future of football. Happy New Year, Craig. Good to have you on the show.
Well, Happy New Year's to you. It was 40 years ago, so we did wear cleats back then. We did have face masks. It really was a big game. So, unfortunately, we got whipped in that. But at least I always say, for the Patriots organization, we proved that it could be done. We knocked on the door and opened up the belief system in New England that the Patriot organization had what it took to get to a Super Bowl. So. I was blessed to have played in it.
Yeah. Can you believe it's been 40 years since Super Bowl 20 with the Bears and the Patriots?
No, it's not. I was really hoping for a rematch with the Bears.
Sure.
It would have been fun, and I'd have been certainly pulling hard for the Pats. But, when time flies by, the game is still blocking and tackling. There's still zone defense. There's man defense. You got to throw the ball and catch the ball. You got to block and tackle. And so the game hasn't changed as much as people make it out to be. There's run and pass options, but if you can't run and block and tackle, then you can't win football games.
Okay, so how did facing one of the most dominant defenses ever shape you? We're talking about the monsters of the Midway. They would overwhelm their opponents, Craig.
Yeah, they had a unique defense, a 4-6 defense that had personnel that really matched its personality. You couldn't pass protect against them. You couldn't run against them. They just, all of their players were good at each one of their positions, and they dominated. Arguably one of the best defenses to ever be assembled in the NFL.
Yeah. When you think back to Super Bowl 20, coming out of the tunnel in the Superdome, where does that moment rank in your Hall of Fame career?
Well, it ranks as right up there at the top. I was blessed to have won a state championship at Houston Stratford. That was huge. Great team.
Yeah.
Conference championship teams at SMU. But playing in a Super Bowl, the ultimate game, you come out of the tunnel and you realize the glitz and the glamour, and you see the former Hall of Famer players that are on the sidelines, the current great players that are in attendance. And you know that you're the game that everybody's watching that day. And it was kind of a surreal atmosphere and very blessed. There are a lot of former players, great players, far better than me that never played in a Super Bowl. So I was very fortunate to have gotten to do it.
Super Bowl 60, the countdown is on. And when we think about today's Super Bowl, the preparation for the players, how does it, compare to when you played?
I think that the same ingredient holds true here today. You have to have the body prepared to play. As long as you've been playing now, this season has been long on these guys, and they all of them have nicks and bangs, and they've got to figure out how they can get ready physically to play the game. Mentally will be easy. That's the easy part, but it's the physical part that you got to get up for one more big game. And you have to also create this atmosphere around it as if it's week 1 or week 6 or week 12. It's another game. And once they blow the whistle and all that long pregame introductions, once they're over with, it's football again. It's blocking and tackling and doing your job. Whatever your job is, do it. And it's really hard to block it out. I was a heavily focused guy.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking back to that game, and I was distracted about so many things can take your mind away from doing your job for your game.
Who was that person when you reflect back on your preparation for the Super Bowl that tried to help calm your nerves so that you weren't overwhelmed by the big moment and by the big game?
Well, I wasn't helped by the fact that before I left my hotel room that morning, Marcus Allen called the room to say hello and good luck in the game. I was like, dang it, what's Marcus doing calling me, He was that didn't help me.
Yeah.
So we had a team psychiatrist that helps you visualize and go through those actions before the game, what it was going to look like, sound like. And this team psychiatrist was really good at getting you into this mindset of already been there and visualization before it became really popular. And then our head coach, Raymond Berry, was a former player and a Hall of Famer, and he was really good at trying to block out distractions. And but again, we were playing against arguably the best defense ever in the NFL history. So it didn't matter how focused we were; they were really good.
So glad you're with us on the Big E Sports Show. I'm your host, Elissa Walker Campbell, a very up-close and special interview with former NFL player, analyst Craig James. And so when you look through the lens of Super Bowl 60 and the eyes of someone that has played in the NFL, what immediately stands out to you about this Patriots-Seahawks matchup?
I was in Foxborough this summer for 2 days and saw the team walking out and practicing and said hi to Mike Vrabel, and you could see the enthusiasm back in May, June for this year. No one could have predicted what they have done. Mike Vrabel has shown the importance of connecting with players and trying to get the best out of the team. Winning all of their road games, it shows you how much focus they have had as a football team. That's incredible. It's never been done in the history of the game. So that I see the focus that has gotten them to this point. But I also see a Seattle team that is really hot. 2 years ago, I went to the Chiefs and a Broncos game. And at that moment there, the Chiefs won the game at home. But I saw a very young and aggressive Denver team. And I said, you know what? That's the current NFL.
Yeah.
Seattle reminds me of that Denver team. Seattle's young and they're aggressive, and Sam Darnold's playing very well. I just think there's a lot of momentum on their side, and it's going to be a very tough game for New England to replicate what they've been doing.
And Craig, just how rare is it to see these head coaches reach the Super Bowl just so quickly?
Well, it's, in today's world, you have about 12 months to get it done or you get fired. And it comes down to connecting with the players. I'll give you an example real quickly.
Okay.
My rookie year in New England, we couldn't pass protect. We had all kinds of pass protection rules. The offensive line and the running backs, we had to do this or that or if this. We changed that system the next year and went to a much more simple procedure. Hey, I've got Sam or I've got strong safety, or I've got Will or I've got the free safety. And all of a sudden we're in the Super Bowl. And so it's little tweaks to connect with the players, finding out what your players can handle, implementing that, and making sure they do it consistently at the very best of their own ability, and then the team benefits. You know
what I hear you saying, too, from a former player's perspective is just the value and the importance of situational awareness, right?
Yes, and the fact that Mike's been there in those situations so that he knows how important the awareness is of those situations is conveyed to the locker room. And the players respect and appreciate the fact that Mike's been there, done that, and he's done it at the highest level and won at the highest level.
Where do you believe that the Patriots hold their clearest advantage over Seattle in this matchup?
Well, the fact that they've been able to do it on the road, they're going to treat it. If I'm Mike, I'm talking like this is another road game. Yep. And we're going out to San Francisco. We're playing another road game. And so they've traveled well. And I think that would be the advantage they have. Their focus that they've had, they have done it. They don't have to hope that they can do it. They've been doing it. And so they're very aware that Seattle's a very good football team. But they've been playing really good football teams for the last few weeks.
We got to give some love to Drake May. So from a running back perspective, I mean, what qualities do you think that he will bring to help settle the offense in those big moments?
Well, the Patriots have really been lucky in that Stevenson and Travion Henderson are really a good complement. And I think once Stevenson stopped fumbling and started holding on to it, he became a very powerful weapon for them. And they're going to need that. They're going to have to run the football. And you hear that going into big games. And you know, if Seattle can stop the run and force the pass, then Drake May has to make plays and not make mistakes. Tom Brady won Super Bowls because he didn't make mistakes. And if May can do that in this game here, the Pats have a real solid chance of winning it.
Well, and I just have to wonder too, as a young quarterback, what's the biggest challenge that will face him, being in a Super Bowl environment for the very first time?
Being young, I mean, you have to expect that there's going to be some level of distraction. It's just a different level. And so he's got a faith. His love for his Lord and Savior he's made everyone understand that. So he's a confident young man.
Yes.
And he's going to be there believing that the Lord has put him there for a reason. It doesn't mean he's going to win the game, but I think that's going to help him calm his nerves when the pressure mounts up.
Well, Craig, let's turn our attention to Seattle. You touched on them briefly. What do you think has defined the Seahawks' path to the Super Bowl in this particular season?
Well, Sam Darnold not making mistakes. Last week, he played a game at a championship level. And your quarterback in a big game has to play to that level. They have to make a play or two that is unexpected or that they have not done. And so I think Darnold really has to play, and they play extremely well. And the other thing that I've noticed about them, they're just an aggressive team, a confident team, and they know what they're doing. They've got a good game plan, and seeing them play as aggressive as they have, that's a challenge. They're young. Football is a young man's game, and they have that feel of youth, excitement, and confidence.
Well, it is fascinating following Sam Darnold's journey because it has been anything, Craig, but linear, right? I mean, and so you have to think that experience is going to help him lead this team on a very big stage, the biggest.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Hats off to him for enduring and hanging in there and staying the course. That has given him confidence that over the years he's been down. As a former athlete, you're in those moments where is it ever going to be there for me again? Mm-hmm. And here it is, not only again, here it is for him in a Super Bowl. So the team can't depend on him to win the game. They've got to compliment him, help him. They got to go make receptions when they need to be made. They can't drop balls. And if they do that, Darnold gets confidence in that pocket. They're going to be tough to beat.
Former NFL player, legendary SMU player Craig James, our very special guest. And we got to shift gears and let's talk some college football. Just your takeaways from Indiana's historic national championship. What stood out the most about this team?
Well, I remember I did college game day in the initial years with Fowler and Corso.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I know for a fact Indiana being on a game day never even came across our minds.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that they have done what they've done really has propelled the interest in college football. And their fans all around that really pulled for them. And I'm one of those. I think Cignetti is a personality that really works for college football right now. The Mendoza story was fabulous. College football has a lot of things that are not good right now, but the fact that teams like Vanderbilt and Indiana are having a chance, and doing well with this transfer world. You can turn your team around overnight. Texas Tech. There are a number of schools that we have not seen on the national radar that have popped up now, and it's created a level of interest that's high. Okay,
Craig, I want to put you on the spot a little bit. Give us your evaluation. You just mentioned him, Fernando Mendoza. I mean, what do you see in terms of his game that suggests long-term success?
Well, I covered the game for 23 years at a pretty high level and have now been an armchair quarterback for a long time. And I'm not sure I've seen as poised and confident and accurate and multifaceted a quarterback as Mendoza. He just looks like he is ready to be the guy in the NFL. And if the Raiders take him, they got to surround him with players. They'll have Genty, the running back. They'll have that part. But you bring a quarterback in, and you've got to make sure you have receivers that can go get the ball, because everybody's covered on Sunday. It's the receivers that go make plays like a Mike Evans did all those years. All these great receivers that help make quarterbacks look good. they're catching balls when they're really covered. So wherever Mendoza goes to play, they've got to surround him with players or he'll be just an average guy.
Well, when we talk about the state of college football, what excites you the most about where it's headed?
I think a lot of folks got tired of it being Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. And they like the fact that there's some newness there and some potential for their team. What I don't like about it are the coaches and the players. I can't understand the Kiffin move. I can't understand these quarterbacks that sign with the school and then all of a sudden they leave and go somewhere else because they got a bigger number. I don't like that. I'm an old school guy. I do agree and applaud that the players are finally getting compensation for what they do. But they've got to come up with a true collective bargaining agreement for men and women's sports, all sports, to be able to have an effective plan going in the future.
So let's talk about this. How much money do you think a 20-year-old Craig James in his prime would command today in an NIL environment?
Well, my running buddy Eric Dickerson and I, we talk about that and we laugh and we say, man, we were just born too soon. And I know this. It would have been a lot more than the allegations were.
Yeah. Yep.
It was, it's true that the marketing arm of these universities is through the sports, the athletics, and it's the full experience that the athlete and the students are getting when going to college. And it's floating the universities, and they're finally now having to share with that revenue.
As we reflect on your career, legendary career at SMU, I mean, the fans remember the highlights, but what were some of those unseen moments, just the grind, the pressure that really defined you as a young man?
Wow, great question. Today's athletes miss out on the opportunity to grind through competition. And the example that I give is I went to school with Eric Dickerson, Hall of Famer, one of the best running backs ever. I could have transferred and Eric could have transferred, but we would have both had to have sat out a year in our time and it just wasn't possible. So Eric and I had to both grind through 4 years of competing and getting better to earn our time. We split time with one position. And our senior year, he's first team AP All-American. I'm a third team AP All-American. And we ground through it. It worked out. We got better individually. The team benefited because of our competition. And today's players, they don't do that. They'll just transfer. They'll move on. And they're missing out on the life lessons that grinding it out process establishes.
Which is the perfect segue to my final question. Let's talk about the Pony Express Award that, honors the legacy that you and Eric Dickerson built at SMU. It's one of the most iconic running back tandems in college football history. So when you see that award that's presented today, which, by the way, Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez and David Bailey, they won the 2025 Pony Express Award. What does it mean to you personally, and what do you hope that these young players understand about what the Pony Express truly represents?
Well, first of all, that's a great setup question. Okay. Eric and I are brothers in Christ. We love each other. We see each other all the time. We've remained friends for 50 years almost. And that's special. And so the fact that we're able to go around and share our stories, our history, our competition, our testimony with these players is really important. The award itself, it's a we award in a me era. And it's voted on by players from around the country. We send them the information. They vote on these players. And that's like in the NFL when Eric and I were voted to a Pro Bowl in the NFL. It meant something because it was from the players. And so we think it's a cool concept. You can be two great corners, a quarterback tight end. It can be two offensive linemen. This year's winners, Rodriguez and Bailey, two linebackers. And so it's a great tandem, and it recognizes teamwork and excellence and working together.
Well said. We are getting you ready for NFL's biggest stage. A true pleasure to have the opportunity to catch up with former NFL player, and that is the great Craig James. Enjoy the game, and we look forward to connecting again in 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Blessings to you, and enjoy the game.
Absolutely.